Rolling.
Get over here.
Thanks. Here I am.
Here you are. It's time for our end of the year wrap up or full year wrap up. Little chance to do the journey through the year.
Right. Look back at 2024
Mhm.
and well wishes for 2025. Let's start with
How we
last
ended it.
December, where we left off with you last year. We spent Christmas locally.
Between Sacramento and American Canyon. Good fun time and lots of family time.
And then we had the traditional Weeby family gathering for New Year's. This time around, it was back at Dillon Beach.
Which was always a lovely place to go. Always beautiful. Weather was nice. It was good to hang out, good to relax with family and spend the new year that way. Kind of a quieter New Year.
Very quiet. January.
Cha 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 cha.
So exciting news for me. I started taking classes at the local community studio here, TV studio and radio studio called Access Sacramento, and gave me access to learn TV studio production and TV field production as well. Sitting behind the camera, filming local TV shows.
He's like a kid in a candy store with this. This was a new journey for him, new adventure. And every week was something new that he learned and he was very excited about. It was also January marked the 1 year anniversary of me going out on my own business. So it was an exciting time for me because I got to that 1 year point.
In February, I continued on with my classes at Access Sacramento. One of those classes now included a script writing for film class. In this class, we were tasked with coming up with a storyline to workshop during the 2 weekends that we were meeting for this class. And I had a hard time coming up with a story. So he was great with giving me some couple of suggestions, and one of them was the relationship of Granite and Marble are two cats, and their very volatile relationship. So I turned that into a script.
Fun little story to come to birth to watch that. We also had the opportunity to go to a Madonna concert.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to be invited to see Madonna when she stopped over here in Sacramento. I've seen her a couple of times in concert before, way back.
My first time to see her in live concert. It was great.
March.
So in March, we'd had such a good winter of snow. January and February were pretty good months. And so something I enjoy doing is going snowshoeing. And we've, over the years, discovered Chickadee Ridge, which is on the east side of Lake Tahoe, near Mount Rose. And so we had an opportunity to go up to Chickadee Ridge. We took a day on Chickadee Ridge and the weekend in Reno. So we stayed overnight in Reno, which is one of his favorite cities. So it was a great way for us to get away and enjoy, take advantage of the weather that had happened. And it was a beautiful day, a beautiful couple of days up there.
Part of the activities we did in Reno was check out the art from Burning Man during the nighttime. And then I had this scavenger hunt of sorts to go check out the gym that this Bulgarian gymnast who won an Olympic gold medal in the 1980 Olympics, Stoyan Delchev's gym, which is in Reno. But when we got there, it was closed. I just wanted to see him and say hi to an Olympic gold medalist.
So in April, I had the pleasure of using his services to create videos for Brown Property Services, BPS videos. So we started that series and we've continued to add to that series. And so that's part of our services, tips and tricks and insider thoughts with property management and tools for tenants and owners. So we've started that series and that's something that we have available on our website thanks to his work.
Yeah, it's under the umbrella of Villaby ENT Productions. An exciting thing happened in April. So the script that I wrote for that class was chosen to take part in a film festival called a place called Sacramento, which would be in October. So I had now the task of producing this film over the summer for it to world premiere in October.
Quite the project.
For my birthday, I wanted to go to Las Vegas because I found out that the B-52s were having a residency at the Venetian, and they happened to play around that timeline.
That was a great show. Got tickets, enjoyed that show. Whirlwind kind of trip to Vegas.
As always.
As always. And then we spent the next day at the Sphere, which was absolutely fantastic, and saw a pretty cool show there.
Yeah. Postcards from Earth was the show,
Oh, yeah.
directed by Darren Aronofsky. It was kind of like their house film at the time.
That was a really cool experience.
Yeah, but check out the Sphere. It's pretty mind blowing. All of the LED lights that make up all these graphics and images on the outside, and then the inside is just breathtaking. A completely different sort of experience.
Apparently the largest indoor theater in the world.
Yes. May was pretty
Eventful.
He went to Chicago to nephew Eric and Hannah's wedding.
That was a fun wedding, good time to be there. Wish he could have joined us, but he wasn't able to. But it was a good time for the rest of us to get together in Chicago.
I had a conflict. I had an event at UC Davis, which was the grand opening for the coffee center. So I could not miss that, even though I really, really wanted to. And then segue that to me leaving UC Davis that month, which is 2 years since I started in 2022. It was time for me to move on. I did leave Bernie, the bicycle there for our team to use. Bernie was very useful for me to get around the campus.
Yeah, Bernie has some memories for both of us.
Yeah, so hopefully Bernie is taken care of.
And then we did a sneak camping trip. He didn't know where we were going. It was my camping trip to plan. He knew Eastern Sierra, but didn't know exactly where. And so we did a road trip and camped in the Eastern Sierra that
It was called Tom's Place. Yeah, I love Eastern Sierra. Highway 395 in that area is one of my favorite places in the world.
We were able to explore lots of areas that we hadn't explored.
June Lake.
June
area.
Lake, Convict Lake. We did some hiking around that area.
And I was able to do my first night time lapse. It was kind of
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
The only
that's
problem was there were some clouds around that time
That was-
because of some storms. And I really, really wanted to catch the northern lights because they came down super low around that time. But this time around, all we got was the Milky Way, which is also fantastic.
Right.
Later on, right when we came back from that trip to the Eastern Sierra, I flew to Las Vegas again with my sister Riva because I found out that the Cirque du Soleil show Love was closing because that hotel that they were housed in was also closing. So that was a fun little quick trip for a couple of days. And I had time because I was in between jobs because then the following week I would be starting back up at Sac State again. It was a sweet welcome back. It was a good move for me in this time of my life.
And then his Aunt Addie and Uncle Rudy came in from the Philippines. So we went to their 50th golden anniversary last year in the Philippines. So they were visiting family in American Canyon. So we went over and spent a couple of evenings because we did a couple of trips back and forth to see them and his cousin Rodell, which they're going to come up in this story a little bit later.
In June, that's when I really had to start focusing on production of my short film Granite and Marble for the October world premiere. So we took 2 weekends to film both B-roll and then all of the scripted content. It was a grind. We had to do a bunch of things like
Set and stage the apartment, move furniture.
I have so much respect now for all of these filmmakers or people that work in the film industry and kind of understand why it's so expensive to produce a film because of all the time and effort and energy it takes to create a miracle, basically. That was coined by one of my crew members, that it takes making a film is pretty much a miracle. And I also got to work on another director's film for the festival, so that was fun to really learn from all the different aspects of filmmaking.
So July, I had planned a surprise trip. Actually, I'd been working on it since May with his cousin Rodell, and it was Aunt Addie and Uncle Rudy to go visit them in Virginia. I really wanted to go to Virginia. And bought the tickets, booked the hotel, coordinated all that. And just the 2 days before we were supposed to leave, he said, "Oh, I'm not feeling so well." Took a COVID test and came up positive with COVID. And it was still a surprise. He knew we were traveling, but didn't know where we were going at that point in time. It was going to be one of those go to the airport, where are we going kind of trip. But thanks to his first round of COVID.
Yeah, it got rescheduled. And I had the naivete of saying like, oh, I'll be fine in the
2
couple
days.
days. Yeah. 2 weeks
2
for
weeks.
me to not test positive, and then another week of recovery.
And during that period of time, I got COVID for my third time, but I was in and out of it in 4 days. So in August was an exciting month. So at our local church, St. Francis, they'd put in the bulletin an advertisement about wanting choir members and live streaming film people.
Yeah. So he joined the choir for the St. Francis.
And it's something I've always noodled with. In fact, I told a good friend of mine a couple of years ago that's something I should do, would like to do. I enjoy the process of this and the learning of music. So,
Very angelic voice he has.
like nails on a chalkboard.
And then at the end of the month was my deadline to submit the short film to the festival organizers, so I did that with a little dance to go along with it. In September, following along his example, I joined loosely the live stream team for St. Francis Church. These would be broadcast at the 9:30 a.m. Mass to folks that are not able to come to the church in person.
Both those activities, the choir and the live stream for him, has given us another engagement with the church. And it's literally just blocks away from our house. And it's nice to have that growing spiritual community or that religious community. So it's something that we've been a part of and now more engaged with it than we do.
Yeah, it's our ministry.
Yeah.
Even though he's a lot more consistent with his participation and I'm a little bit more spotty.
We go up and down. We both go up and down. A trip in September was off to Ashland, Oregon, which I had purchased those tickets for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is a group of plays all performed in Shakespearean kind of theory at a beautiful complex there in Ashland. And Ashland's a great little town, southern Oregon, right off the Interstate 5. It's just a lovely area. And we have a good friends of ours, their nephew performs in it and has performed in it for 11 years. So, and a friend of ours, but this was an opportunity to go see that, drive up to Ashland, spend the weekend up there. Beautiful weekend, great little town, Southern Oregon University's there. Just fell in love with Ashland. It was warm, but it was a great trip.
October, I got my dual citizenship for the Philippines.
And it was also a month where we had chamber events, back-to-back events. We had the Farm to Scholar at the very end of September, and then Bows and Bow Ties at the very beginning of October. So it was a pretty tight turnaround for chamber stuff.
And we come to the world premiere of Granite and Marble at a place called Sacramento Film Festival, it was an electric night. It was so fun seeing all the other films that the filmmakers created, and to see my little film be up on the big screen versus just being on a computer monitor where I was editing it for months and months. So that was super exciting, and I got a lot of support from friends,
and
family, and they came from near and far.
Right. At the end of October, we were finally able to pull off was a surprise trip to Virginia, no longer a surprise trip to Virginia. The big thing was the surprise that we actually pulled off the trip, because in September we had it booked and moved to, and then I discovered that I had a conference that I was speaking at the day we were supposed to leave. So anyway, but we finally got off to visit his family in Virginia. Perfect timing for the fall color change. Virginia, the weather was nice. We were able to do all kinds of things around DC and capture all of that. We have another video that's shared on that. But it was really a good trip to see his aunt and uncle and his cousin in Virginia and friends.
November, Granite and Marble also was accepted into the Davis Film Festival. Very exciting, and it was another opportunity to see the film on a big screen.
Oregon, back to Oregon. We rented an RV, took my mom, my niece, he and I to visit relatives in Portland. Opportunity to connect my mom with her baby sister and baby brother and do a little road trip. And an RV was the most comfortable way to travel for the four of us and give us a place to stay. We stayed right on the Columbia River, which was nice.
Yeah, and also connected with my niece Danya. A byproduct of going to these charitable events is that you bid on trips and activities, and
You have the opportunity to bid on events.
so this one was a trip to see Dancing with the Stars in LA. We got to see the taping of the semifinals of Dancing with the Stars, and I've seen the show years ago, but I haven't followed it much closely ever since then. So I had to really do some quick research on who was
We had to study up on it to be current.
right and
To
who
see.
was on the show. And luckily, I knew a couple of the semifinalists. They were my favorites too,
Yeah.
and it was a fun experience. It was good to see.
So we were fortunate to make that happen. And it also gave us a chance to connect up with some friends in Southern California, friends that we haven't seen in a couple of years, hadn't been down in a couple of years. So we made that quick trip to SoCal to do that. Dancing with the Stars.
Thank you so much again for rolling with us in 2024.
And we look forward to sharing with you the adventures of 2025.
Granite and Marble, say hello.
And a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to everybody.
We'll roll with you again in 2025, so stick around.
And that's Rolling with the Pauls. Had them not facing each other.
No, I know. She's very loud.
Okay, take a picture.